I think it's fair to say we can say welcome Kim Hellberg to Middlesbrough. How are you all doing? We've got another 20 minutes of Boro chat with Sarah, Jonathan and Craig. Thank you very much for your company again this week. Coming up in this nice cosy chat that we do, we're talking about just who is Kim Hellberg and is he going to be the right fit for Boro? What's his first thing he's got to sort out? Jonathan's got a few things to say about that performance at Oxford. We're catching up with Sarah, who met George Friend, of course, in the stands, and we're looking at the future of course, this week. Two big games for Boro, including a visit, the visit of the soon-to-be champions in many people's view in Coventry City. Hope you're all doing well. Let's start with Oxford then. Sarah, you made a friend, so to speak, this weekend. Good chat with George.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I mean, it was just, to be honest with you, it's deflected from what was a fairly poor game, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But he was on the concourse at half time, and I don't think he got to either the refreshments or the bathroom because he was literally pounced on by everybody. If he didn't get a photo with George Friend this weekend, that was the story, to be fair. So he was great.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, let's talk Kim Hellberg then, because yes, as of recording time, Craig, he is 99.9% to be your next man, and by the time this goes out, he may have already been officially announced. So what do you know about him? Tell us all about Kim.
Oh well, I know. Not a lot. I've just been like everybody else who, when his name got mentioned, and it was like, right, let's have a look and see where he is and what he's done, and then I've looked on YouTube for these other kind of like analysis expert where they're playing and what position he does and attacking thirds and all this type of stuff. So what I've heard, it's a kind of positive. He's an attacking coach. He likes to play like 100-mile-an-hour rock and roll football, likes his players to move. But have we got the players to do it? Like he's going to have to kind of come in, see where we are and work with what we've got. And the again, it's another transitional period, which we've only had a few months ago. And so we're kind of in turmoil again, aren't we? So, we fingers crossed he can solve the problem in the final third. But we'll pray.
I mean, he's been in football a long time. He's only 37, which suggests he's a bit experienced. But he has been in football a long time, Jonathan. He's had quite a bit of success wherever he's been. And what I've read about him, he's renowned for his attacking football, which is probably where you're going to need him to come and sort things out first, isn't it? Given the stats you've been looking at.
Well, yeah, it would seem so, wouldn't it? So I remember Sean a good few weeks back now talked about, XG, is that a concern for us? And it's come home to roost, because I think pretty much every single episode we've done, we've talked about up front, we're a bit of a problem, and we're not creating chances. And that was again the case on Saturday. So your new man, that's his big problem at the minute. He's got all these players to use up front, but they're not clicking at all. And we've said, I'm sure it's coming. And once again, we'll say, I'm sure it's coming. In fairness, we were missing subs on Saturday. Strelec wasn't around, Nipan wasn't around, Hansen wasn't around because of international duty. So that did limit his choices. So we did start with Bergzorg and Whittaker. And Whittaker's obviously had his problems and had his detractors, but I think Bergzorg is his equal, if not worse, to be honest with you. So I'm not liking him starting. So it'll be interesting to see what Hellberg makes of those lads up front and what's going to happen there. And of course, Conway, because he's not putting the ball in the net, he's getting plenty of question marks over him at this moment in time. And the fans seem split, to be honest with you. You've got 50% loving him because of his work rate, and then 50% saying he should be dropped because he ain't scoring. So, the jury's out on that. So some big problems, or not problems, some interesting dilemmas for your man to sort out when he comes in.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah, what have you personally heard? I mean, of all the names that have been bandied around in the last 2 weeks, are you slightly disappointed, or are you excited by this appointment?
I'm not disappointed because there hasn't been great names bandied about, in my opinion. Like, there's been nobody that I've gone, wow, yeah, let's get him. There's nothing out there, which was, I think, our concern when Edwards moved on, was there wasn't a ready-made replacement, which is probably why Wolves went for Edwards in the end, because there's nobody out there. So I think it's kind of interesting. It's intriguing. It's exciting because we know so little. And it's our second ever foreign manager, and our first one did not so bad in getting us out of this division. So Yeah, I mean, I've watched a little bit about him. Like Craig, didn't even know he existed prior, like 2 weeks ago. So it's completely out of the blue. Didn't know anything about Hanabi either, so watched a lot of their videos. But yeah, it's a risk, but anything would have been a risk to my mind. So I'm okay with it. And just coming back to Jonathan's point about Conway, that yes, I get with Conway. I think he just gets, the problem with him is every chance he gets, he has to score because he doesn't get enough. So you think about strikers and missing chances. He's missing too many years. He's missing one-on-ones and things like this. But I just think there's too much pressure on him at the minute, and his confidence looks to be on the floor. So hopefully this new guy comes in and can give that front line a bit of a rejuvenation somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, the other thing I was going to say is the Hackney situation, and what I mean by Hackney is that he might not have had the greatest game on Saturday, and I don't know how opinions it reflects on this, but my opinion of Hackney is if he's not playing well, we don't win. Simple as that. So if he don't play well and he's not doing his stuff, it doesn't happen for us. When he plays well, we win. So I'm wondering if your new man who comes in will kind of recognise that and might try and take a bit of pressure off Hackney. I don't know, but. Yeah, that was me on Saturday. It was, Whitaker was okay in parts, but not really. Bergzorg was nowhere. Conway, didn't have any service unless Hackney was doing something, and he struggled. He gets 1,000 passes out, versus everyone else gets 100 passes. If he clicks, we're doing it. He weren't clicking on Saturday, so that's another thing that your man's got to sort out.
Okay, Craig, it's been described as a brave choice by some pundits. Where is the risk in this? I mean, obviously the biggest one is that it all goes sour and you end up finishing 10th from a very good position. But why is this? Why are we not seeing Boro fans and the media go cock a hoop for this appointment like we have seen for Norwich's appointment?
Yeah, well, I think it's just the name, obviously, and he's not known. So I think the risk is that. But I think I would rather the club went down this route rather than a kind of like a name that was established like 10 days ago. We were linked with Gary O'Neill, and I seen Stephen Gerrard was like odds-on favourite at the bookies, and I thought, I don't like either of those. Like, I thought, although they were kind of name and well-known, like, do I want them? And I thought, no, I don't. So kind of like going like left field. I thought, you know what? I thought he could like bring a spark, and with him being an unknown, that might give us an advantage to the kind of the other teams in the league. It might give us just a kind of like a month's grace, if that makes sense, where other teams are trying to figure out what he's doing. And I know Sean said last week, he alluded to like kind of the club going kind of like left field, like Sarah said, like when we did with Karanka, kind of like an unknown, and we brought him in. I mean, Kieran Scott, he's a football man, isn't he? And he knows a lot of people in a lot of places. So this wouldn't have been like a snap decision of, Edwards has gone, we need someone, let's look at him. Like, I'd imagine like he would have already know a pool of people who he thinks are suitable for the role. So that's, I think you just have to keep faith, because not much Scott has done while he's been at the club has gone wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would say about 75-80% of the decisions he's made have been for the good of the club and went well. So I think we have to trust him. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Big week then coming up, Jonathan. If you look at the form table, the top, or two of the top teams that are in form at the moment to play at home, Coventry and then Derby, of course, who never like. It's always a bit of a spicy fixture, that, given the history between the clubs. How do you see these two going?
Oh, bloody hell! Look, Coventry's hard. Look, on Saturday, I didn't think we were that bad at the back. In the middle, it was just up top where we had the problems. I mean, Oxford weren't that strong a competition for us, but you know what? We just weren't effective enough against that. And in fairness, your man Adi, he said the same after the interview. He wasn't particularly impressed. So Coventry, from what I've seen of them, they have the potential to leak goals, but against us who don't particularly score goals. So I'm not too sure we're going to. It's whether we can keep them out, because they're obviously very effective in front of goal at the minute and clinical. So if we can keep them out and nick one, that's probably our best chance. But they're on form. They've got confidence. That's going to be one. I mean, it'll be a hell of a boost if we get a result on Tuesday, you've got to say. But here's me pessimism side. We got a right result against Ipswich we were supposed to kick on. So you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So Derby, I've got more confidence about. My mate's a Watford fan, and he went away the other day, and Derby were 2-2 up, and Watford came to do them with 3-2, didn't they? So I've got hope against Derby. He said they weren't particularly impressive, so if we're on our game, we should beat Derby at home. We're good at home, so yeah, we are home, aren't we? Yeah. So 4 out of 6 would be great. 3 out of 6 would be okay.
No, okay, yeah. Carl Morris, of course, would likely be injured for that as well. He hobbled off, so that's a bonus. Is the main score as well. Brill. Sarah, in terms of the international break, then lots has been pointed out in terms of getting injuries back and where the squad is at. We're entering the busy Christmas period now. Where do we think the squad is at in terms of injuries and fitness for what is the busiest period of the calendar?
It's a bit concerning, to be honest. I think our defence is a bit of a concern now. We have Target, who seems to have a run of injuries, and I suspect he might not. I mean, he's already injury prone. I think someone pointed out to me earlier, he's been missing for 3 years pretty much, and he's come in, he's played a few games, and he's got a few foot injuries. He went off again at half-time on Saturday. And then centre-half wise, we've got Edmondson out, we've got Fry out. I don't think Fry will make Tuesday. We're relying on Ayling playing every game, which is a problem because of his age. 3 game weeks we're in. Then we've got Darryl Lenihan, who looks like now potentially finished. I hate to say that, but that's what AD alluded to in the press conference. We've got Bangura, who doesn't get near the pitch. So it's defensively we're really, really struggling. Which is a similar theme to last season. We've got Malanda coming in January, so I think we might struggle here with defenders. And then it's a case of saying, okay, who can we get in? We've got Silvera playing left back, which everybody, as much as I like Silvera for his application and his desire and his will to do anything asked of him, he's no left back. Coventry's a concern because of that, I think, and who will play on Tuesday night. So, I think I'm a bit concerned. I'll say that.
Right. We're motoring on to the A to Z of Boro at the end of the video, Craig. We're up to G, but before we get there, we're talking about goalkeepers this week. Not good ones, though. We want your thoughts on the dodgiest goalkeeper that Boro have had. We've got to have some light relief. What's the worst goalkeeper, Craig, you've ever seen in a Boro shirt?
Do you know what? There's been a few. There's been a few local Boro lads who weren't great, but I won't kind of dig them out because they were young and threw in Ross Turnbull and Ripley, but they were thrown in. But I mean, Joe Lumley, Jesus Christ, that man, that season he had. My dog could have threw a ball at him and it went in. Do you know what I mean? His confidence was shot, and he was starting every game. It was brutal. But in fact, on YouTube, if you type in Joe Lumley, someone's merged together about a 3.5 minute clip, and it's just goal, 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 and they're going through his legs, and he's just falling over. It's like when you used to play Pro Evo on a Sega Mega Drive, and the keepers were shite. So he was Joe Lumley for me.
Okay, any of you other two beat that?
No.
I would just Guzan. I was going to say Guzan. Guzan would have been a shout for me. Andy Dibble back in the day as well. He was an interesting character. But I'll go with Lumley as well.
Okay. Right then, we'll be doing the A to Z. If you're new to the channel, first of all, do drop us a quick subscribe at the bottom. We're doing the A to Z of Boro. One person, one player, one event for each letter of the alphabet. We're up to G this week. Now, in last week's video, we had lots of comments already about G from Smog Kiwi. Hello, if you're watching again. And others that said there is only one answer to this. But I don't know whether it's going to be controversial or not. Should we just put Steve Gibson in and have done, or do you want to throw other names in?
So he's going in, but you've got to give some honourable mentions, I reckon. So
okay,
I think it's a given that Gibson goes in. You can't. I can't see any better choice than him, unless Sarah and Craig have got something different. But I can't see
No. Definitely
anyone beating him.
The man's a legend, isn't he? Bless him. Yeah.
Okay. Right, Gibson, you're in. Honourable mentions then?
So I had a soft spot for Jeremy when he played for that year or two, like what was it, early 2000s, and he came under McLaren, and I really liked him. But then I think he went off somewhere like, I think Chelsea snapped him. Like I think we had him Real Madrid for a loan for a season, didn't we? And we were meant to buy him, and then Chelsea came in with millions, and yeah. But I really liked him, and he was a bit of a character as well. So yeah, I like Jeremy, but yeah.
And Gilbert as well behind you.
Oh yeah, Gilbert. I haven't got many G's. I looked in my collection and I haven't got many G's. But next week, H.
Oh, here we go. Oh, you're banned from talking next week when we get to H.
I tell you what, if the Yorkshire Perlo doesn't get in next week, I'm kicking off.
We will have a fight off next week, Craig, because my favourite all-time players are H as well. So we are going to have such a blast at that one.
Okay. Any more G's that I've forgotten?
No,
Ryan Giles, he's got in 2 already.
Oh, crikey, Ryan Giles! I didn't even think about him. That's interesting.
He's got in Hull and Cardiff. I've put him in for.
Really?
Oh, Jesus!
I got to give you. I tell you, there's a G I'd like to stick in honourable mention is Dean Glover from the Spirit of '86 lot back then. He was a proper icon, a real crowd favourite, and just because he was a nutcase, to be honest with you. So Dean Glover has to get an honourable mention.
Can we also mention? I know we didn't mention him last week very much under the Fs, even though he probably should have had because he is a club legend. But we should mention Gorgeous George under G because, in all seriousness, like he's such a good guy and he's such a good role model, and he's really keep supporting our club. So I would like to give him an honourable mention under G, even though I know we don't do surnames. We do surnames and stuff, but I think after yesterday we'll give him a mention.
Double G, we'll have it. That's fine.
Yeah,
right, Steve Gibson in for G then next week. The Battle of the H's. Join us for that. And of course, we'll also be looking back on that Coventry game and the game against Derby County as well. Join us for that. Thank you very much, of course, for watching 20 minutes of weekly Boro Chat. If you can squeeze it into your schedule, we'd be very grateful. Drop us a sub and a like before you go, and we'll see you after this very busy week for Boro. Welcome, Kim.